Caleb Plant suffers a surprise upset defeat at the hands of Armando Resendiz on PBC. No, that's right. Bubba boxing fans, welcome to the first ever daytime edition of Chatterboxing, the show that kind of sounds like shadowboxing. And today, of course, we are here to chat boxing, and unfortunately, I am not that happy. I'm gutted for Caleb Plant, man. Let me just start things off by saying I'm a big Caleb Plant fan in and outside the ring. I think he's quite a cool guy. I think the way he carries himself is quite cool. He's got that family man thing going for him. He's got a beard, like myself, usually wears caps, kind of like myself. I think he's a very, very good fighter. I think he's world level, as proven by his world championship before. He's maybe not like GOAT level or elite level or best of the generation level, but he's definitely a very good fighter. Known for his slick style, so they call him Caleb Sweet Hands Plant, but they might as well call him Sweet Feet because he's quite slick, very good with the shoulder roll, got very good time and good reflexes, and he does carry that power. He does carry that KO power. We've seen what he did to against Durrell. Well, I mean, he basically buried him, isn't it? Then he had the shoveling over his body. And we saw what he did against Mukumbi in his last time out. So a very good fighter, and I'm a big fan. And this one is going to hurt, unfortunately. He lost fair and square. I did score it round by round against a very impressive Armando Resendiz. And let me just start off by saying, if you guys have been following me from the beginning, you know I score bias. There was that Riyadh season cut with Hamza Shiraz where it was a bias scorecard from me because I'm a big Shiraz fan. So I usually score bias, but I had Caleb Plant losing this one fair and square. I had it 7-5. I had Caleb Plant winning rounds 1 through 4, and then he won the 11th round. So that means Resendiz, he won 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the 12th round. So 7-5. As much as I like Caleb, I don't know how one of the judges gave him the win. 115, 113. So 1 round split. I don't see how you do that. So the first few rounds, they were going according to plan by Caleb Plant. He was relying a lot on that jab, a lot on the jab to the body. You could see he was really focusing on that. And Armando Resendiz, he was using the first 2 rounds at least to just kind of study Caleb Plant, see what he's doing, see what he's coming up with. We didn't see him throw too much, Resendiz that is, in the first 2 rounds. Third round was a close round. I still gave it to Caleb. I just think he landed more. The output was a bit more. But Resendiz started to basically start fighting in the third round, and he caught him a few times. And the thing with Caleb Plant is, so we already said he's got that KO power, but he also relies a lot on his footwork. He relies a lot on moving around, being slick, countering with the defense, and just outskilling you and outpointing you with the jab before later on bringing on some of the hooks and some of the more powerful punches. And it was going to plan for the first 4 rounds. I think in round 3, a little bit, he tasted some of that power that Resendiz had. And then you could see round 5, round 6 especially. Round 6 was when Caleb Plant, he caught that straight right, I believe, flush on the chin. He didn't roll the shoulder. So he caught that straight on the chin. He was also trying to uppercut at the same time. So quite vulnerable, caught it straight on the chin. And then like a second or 2 after that, he caught 2 hooks, a left hook and a right hook, straight to the chin by Resendiz. And credit to Caleb Plant, for not going down. Of course, he was holding on for dear life there, as he should do. But we saw some of that toughness. We saw some of that chin. And when you're a slick fighter, when you rely a lot on your movement, when you rely a lot on your feet to get you out of trouble, it's literally got to be there for all 12 rounds. We saw that with Caleb Plant against Canelo, and we saw it with Caleb Plant against David Benavidez. I think Plant against Canelo, Plant did quite well for the majority of the fight. He was doing quite well. I think it was in round 10 or 11, maybe 10, where he was talking to Canelo, telling him, oh, you see, I'm not that bad. I'm pretty good. Something along those lines. But then once you get tired, or once the feet don't move as quickly as you would like, or those reflexes aren't as quick as you'd like, then you're in a lot of trouble. We seen this a year ago or 2 years ago in a fight that I love. It's Rashidi Ellis versus Romain Villa. Villa, who then he beat Rashidi Ellis, and then he went on to fight Boots, and he lost to Boots Ennis. But Rashidi Ellis, for 10 rounds or 11 rounds, he dominated that fight. He dominated Romain Villa. He was just peppering away with that jab, scoring points here and there, and using his feet to just evade anything that was coming his way. But then in the 10th and the 11th, he got caught once or twice. He got tired. You could see the feet were not moving the way they should. And that's it. You're like a sitting duck. And at the end, Romain Villa got a very late stoppage. Great, great fight to watch. So that kind of happened to Caleb Plant against Canelo. Kind of happened to Caleb Plant against Benavidez. First couple rounds, first half of the fight, he looked pretty comfortable. And then he gets caught once or twice with those big punches by Benavidez. They start to make a difference. The movement starts to slow down. The reflexes start to slow down. The self-belief slows down. The output becomes less and less because now you're a bit wary of what's coming back. You're a bit hesitant to throw because you don't want something coming back to you. You'd rather just shell up. And that's kind of what we saw from Caleb Plant. Again, take nothing away from Resendiz. I was very impressed. It was my first time watching him fight, actually. And I was very impressed. This guy was cool, calm, composed, very tough, because in the first couple rounds, he was eating some punches from Caleb Plant, especially to the body. And throughout the whole fight, it literally looked like the punches were not really doing much to Resendiz. He never really looked too troubled. He never really looked too dazed. Even in the 11th round, that I thought Caleb Plant won quite well, or performed quite well in that round. Resendiz never looked in trouble. And when they go back to the corner in between rounds, Resendiz's face pretty much looked unblemished. So how tough is this guy? What's his skin made of? He wasn't breathing too hard, at least in my opinion. And for someone who was eating some body shots, I was quite impressed. On the contrary, Caleb Plant by basically round 2, he was already seeing some marks on his face. He had that cut on the bridge of his nose. It was bleeding. He was breathing heavy. You had Breadman in his corner asking him, even the rounds that he won. So Breadman even told him after the 4th round, you're either 4-0 up or 3-1 up, which is fair. But he checked in on him. He's like, is everything okay? Is there something I should know about? You were feeling good? Of course, Caleb Plant was like, yeah, I'm feeling good. But it just shows you the toughness of Resendiz. He didn't look too troubled throughout that whole fight. And man, Father Time is undefeated. You know, what can we say? Father Time is undefeated. I saw the Paulie Malignaggi review. Shout outs to Paulie TV. He was saying maybe it's the spark. You know, you lose the spark. You become successful. You make a good amount of money. You've got a beautiful family. You've got another baby on the way. You've kind of achieved all you could achieve. You've been world champion. You might lose that spark, and that's what he saw in that fight. For me, it wasn't so much losing the spark because you could see Caleb Plant was trying. He was making adjustments. The first couple rounds, he was doing what he does with his jab. He sticks his jab hand out in front just for range and to keep his hand in the opponent's face. You know, he does that quite a lot. Second half of the fight, you could see he was playing inside. He was fighting on the inside. I think that was a mistake. There were 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds that Caleb Plant tried to fight on the inside because his usual game plan stopped working after round 4. So I think around 7, 8, 9 maybe, he was trying to fight on the inside and it just didn't work. Credit to Resendiz when Caleb Plant came on the inside. Resendiz gave him a lot back, gave him a lot of trouble on the inside. And then after that, you saw Caleb Plant suddenly in the high guard, which you don't usually see. You usually see that Philly shell, hand down, he maybe sticks the jab out. You know, he takes a step back with 2 hands out. You saw that a few times this fight. But he was trying, man. He put his hands up, put his hands high, came forward. He was trying. So I don't think it was a spark that was missing. As much as I just think Father Time is undefeated, man. Father Time is undefeated. And although he was in control those first 4 rounds, he tasted some of Resendiz's punches. His footwork kind of started to let him down a little bit. And that's it, man. You're pretty much a sitting duck. So credit to both fighters. Like I said, I'm a huge Caleb Plant fan. What I didn't mention, I also like how he just goes around slapping whoever disrespects him. He slapped Canelo. He slapped Canelo in the face off. Kind of got away with it. Because he slapped him and kind of evaded the reply. Of course, in the fight, Canelo was the worthy winner. And then, of course, you saw what happened with Jamal Charlo like a year ago in some, I forgot which event it was, maybe Ryan Garcia Tank, maybe. I forgot exactly. But there was some disrespect there on Charlo's behalf, and Caleb Plant just slaps him right in the face. Get some, boy. So I think it's funny. Like, he definitely holds his own. He definitely keeps it real. Father Time is undefeated, and especially with that kind of style, the Philly shell style, the footwork style, it relies a lot on stamina, it relies a lot on reflexes, on quickness. And when those things start to go as you get older, it leaves you in a tough position. As well, Armando Resendiz, I should check how old he is before I do the show. I didn't. But he really impressed me there. You could see the hunger there. You could see the hunger. You could see the belief. Like, you could literally see it on the TV screen. Like, this is a guy who was like, okay, it's my time. I'm up against a pro that he's got a lot of respect for. You could see it post-fight, pre-fight. There was a lot of respect there. And he's like, listen, like, I'm not going to leave that ring until I win. And you could see that literally in his body language. The way he was getting hit to the body and just keeps coming forward like it was nothing. His face in between rounds, like we already mentioned. Not only the fact that there was no marks, he just looked confident in there. His coach looked confident in there, even the first few rounds. Again, like we said earlier, Breadman in Caleb Plant's corner, Caleb Plant had won those rounds, but there was a little bit of like panic, not panic, a little bit of like caution, I would say, or a little bit of, I forgot the word right now, but they were a little bit worried, let's say, about what would happen later. And Abner Mares, the coach of Armando Resendiz, was kind of the opposite. So those first few rounds, Resendiz didn't win, in my opinion. But the corner was quite relaxed, stick to the game plan, giving him gentle words of encouragement. They were not too panicked. I feel like they knew this was his time, Resendiz, that is. And every dog has his day. That was Caleb Plant's day where we saw perhaps Father Time took over a bit, and that was Resendiz's day where, it's time for him to step up and step onto the scene. And he did that quite well. I was very, very impressed. You could see at the end how much that meant to him. And you love to see it, man. You love to see it. He was very happy, screaming, when he got the win. Split decision win. Like I said, I'm a huge Caleb Plant fan, but split decision win, I don't agree with. But it was good to see at the end they both had respect for each other. And where do they go from here? So Caleb Plant was supposed to have the Charlo fight, settle that beef. And I was really looking forward to it. Just because of the history, because of the slap, because of the disrespect that was going on in the past, I was really looking forward to it, man. I think that would have been a crazy build-up. We might have even got more slaps, Unfortunately, Charlo got the win, so unfortunately, probably not going to be Caleb Plant next. Roman, he now won the interim WBA, I believe. Was it WBA or WBO? I forget, but he won the interim belt now. Maybe he's in line to fight Charlo, which I could only, support him for. I could only agree with. Why not? Let's see him against Charlo. For me, like I said, it was my first time watching Resendiz. So let's see him against Charlo. We saw him against Plant. Very impressive. And the future looks bright. There you go. That should be my catchphrase because I say that every week. Whereas for Caleb Plant, where does he go from here? Obviously, I wouldn't retire just yet. I mean, that's me. I think it's way too early to retire. But do I want to see him against Charlo now that we saw what happened against Resendiz? Probably not, man. I'd rather save him, man. I'd rather save him. I think for his style, I think his age, it's starting to catch up to him. I'd like to see him up against some winnable fights, earn a bit more money, and then retire. But let's see how Resendiz does against Charlo if they go on to fight each other next. And maybe Caleb Plant can get the winner, either the rematch with Resendiz or Charlo finally. Let's see. But I think we'll leave it there for this week. I am sad. I do like Caleb Plant. Sucks when you see time catching up to your heroes. But c'est la vie, man. Happens to everyone. Father Time is undefeated. So once again, thank you for tuning in to Chatter Boxing, the show where we chat boxing. Give us a like, give us a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's help the channel grow. And as always, keep those hands up.
I know you feel it. 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 I know you feel it.